Where the frick's the damn opening screen? Oh no, there it went. There it is. Yeah, I got this little thing here on the app. I've got 2 lines and I've got like 8 different sort of screen layups, and like you think you could find the starting screen in that when you're scrolling, then it's scrolling 3 lines at a time and you completely miss the one I'm looking for. Anyway, here we are. I got it right last week, but there you go. That was a fluke. Good morning, everybody. How are we today? We've got a few people already waiting. We've got, oh my God. So we had Robert Mack early, so Chris Brand, Jim Collis, Jim Collis, g'day. Stuart from Newey, Andy Stubbs, hey, Chris, of course, we got Todd and we got Oggy here. G'day Todd, g'day Oggy.
G'day.
Wazza. There we go. Okay, and yeah, so off and running. We're sort of completely screwing everything up as we go along. My coffee's almost finished. Yeah.
I'm going to have to break out here in a minute and go get me a new drink.
Go and get some new coffee. Go and get your coffee, yeah.
No, not coffee me. It's gin and...
Gin and tonic. Gin and tonics. Gin and tonics. The old junk spirit. Yeah, anyway, so here we are, Saturday morning. Yes, I didn't get my telekinesis. That didn't come in. Didn't get any sort of mind reading abilities. These were the ones that I was wanting, but I did get a +5 on charisma, so that's all right. I can't really complain about that. I don't know what other superpowers anybody else got. I know sort of. Was it Dowler? He's not here yet, but Dowler told me on Facebook that he got a +5 to sarcasm when he got his injections. But what did everybody else get? Like, I'd like to know. I've had absolutely 0 reaction, no red spots, no anything. Sometimes I know. I'm almost thinking the fact that they gave me salt water or something. Who knows? I got a placebo.
Well, there's no 5G towers in my area, so that's why it hasn't developed yet.
Well, I haven't called my provider yet to get a 5G SIM card, so I really don't know whether I've got any extra reception on 5G. But the Wi-Fi still seems to be working pretty good, so maybe there was a bit of a boost in the Wi-Fi signal.
I bought Macca's on the way home, and I don't normally have a craving for Macca's, so I don't know whether that's a superpower or not.
I don't know, but I was in the Big C, Big C market just up the road there, and I didn't get any beeps when I went through the those little screen things that they for stealing stuff. That didn't go off. The security gate things. Didn't get any extra beeping on that, so I don't think they fucking RFID.
The tag didn't take properly. That's the problem.
The RFID chip. Yeah, the RFID chip didn't go off, so maybe it's a different frequency. I don't know. But all in all, I got absolutely 0 side effects. Whether it actually worked or not, I don't know. I was expecting to at least see. Maybe also got a bit of a boost on my sarcasm. I don't know. I've got +5 to charisma and +2 to sarcasm.
He was vaccinated with Astra Viagra. Only side effect was that it kept him up all night.
Come on. my eyes are still not working properly yet. Okay, so Sydney lockdown. Yeah, so Sydney's in lockdown again, is it? Oh my God, yeah. Welcome to the big lockdown. Malcolm K. I was vaccinated with AstraZeneca. Yeah, I like that one. Mr. Mitch, good morning. Good evening from you, of course. Here, Liam, from the Communist Australia. So what's it, what they call the very south North Korea.
Sure, yeah.
The very south North Korea.
I thought it was a China annex.
Was it? Well, maybe it is. I don't know. So
somebody keeps telling me that China's bought up all the land and everything. And that,
yeah. Well, actually, those numbers. We'd like to say they bought so much land, but it's. I think they did. It's only 0.7% of the Australia land mass has been bought by the Chinese. But what they don't tell you is the fact that that 0.7% is actually about maybe closer to maybe 3% of the actual useful land. Because there's a lot of dead land that does nothing in Australia. But then again, that land would be perfect.
I've heard that about the people too.
Yeah, but that useful land, or useless land that they talk about, it's quite possible to put solar systems in, big solar farms and sort of vertical farming, and you could make a small fortune for the price of the land you're putting on. But again, there's no government forethought on those sort of areas to improve Australia's lot. Australia could be the farming capital of the world. It's got so much land. If it was done properly with proper, vertical farming, agriculture and everything else, which uses only 5% of the actual water that normal farming does. They could take the world. They could take the world by supplying food to the world, but no. There's absolutely no foresight, because governments of the world, they're in for 4 years. They only give a damn about what people can see, because people have got such short memories. These long-term projects.
You don't want to catch your mad broccoli disease,
It's mad broccoli disease.
The mad cow disease out of the UK, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like Australia. The world runs on Wi-Fi. That was invented in Australia. You know that, don't you? But again, government subsidies, government don't support the technology, so it goes off seas and gets built in other countries, and we get absolutely nothing out of it. But this is again the brilliant thinking of our politicians.
Paul, yeah, of course Australia's smashing the Americans in swimming. We don't have a reason to swim.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't need to get out of our country.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cuba should have the best swimmers in the world. Because they keep swimming to Miami.
Oh, they keep swimming to Miami. Okay, fair enough. Australia's now called South China. Yeah. Where else we got? My brother, right? Was it good morning? Robert Groves, g'day, my Robert, and Roy Goyd.
All right.
Mayor Groves, have you got your live-in maid down there yet, Robert? I know you're going to be sort of doing something about a live-in maid. Has that actually transpired yet? Is it Mr. Mitch?
Is he gonna build a little cottage off the main building for?
No, they've actually got a room there for the maid. So that was something that they did. I think they got 7 bedrooms or 7
rooms. Daughter's room.
No, that's upstairs. No, they actually got a live-in place for the maid. I thought there was a live-in place for the maid. It's been a year since I've been down there. God, almost a year. I think the virus, Mr. Mitchell, I think the virus is kicking off in China. I actually think all these shortages, not because of steel and containers being built, but because their labour forces is diminished. Okay. Yeah, and again, sort of, they keep on sort of saying this China-made virus. So come on, really, guys. Have you ever known anything that made in China last longer than a year? So this is why I quite firmly believe the thing was actually made in the US, and sort of subversively put into one of these sort of badly designed labs, the badly designed labs in China. These.
Everybody knows that we design it in the U.S., we ship it over to China to have it made, and then we bring it back. So
yes, that's
it.
Just
What happened here?
It just happened to get out before it was ready. That's all. Now it seems to be ready. It evolved itself into the Delta virus, a Delta variant, it's now the Delta variant is going to really sort the cat amongst the it's the cat amongst the pigeons, isn't it? But yeah,
I think they were saying there's a new variant now again.
Is there? Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, this is what viruses do. I was saying this 18 months ago when the thing first started. The problem with we can have all the naysayers and viral, all the experts out there in epidemiology and everything else, but viruses have one thing, right? They are an organism that wants to replicate. This is the nature of viruses. The flu virus has never had any legs on it, to really do any major damage. Mind you, it still kills people every year. If you've got bad health, it'll cause what they call the severe respiratory syndrome, which is, effectively pneumonia, and it begets, pneumonia begets, difficulty in breath. You can't breathe, and then you die. If you're a sick person, this is what you're going to deal with.
New variant, the B1621 out of Colombia.
Yeah, this is
coming into Miami.
Yeah, but this particular virus just has a little bit more bite, a little bit more legs. It's still a flu virus, but it's we're just going to have to live with it, guys. It's the same when we get rid of the masks. Now, look, masks are going to be a part of common society until they actually. There will be some designs of masks coming out which will be sort of fashionable in the next 2 to 3 years. But people just have to get used to wearing masks. That's what's going to be, But the mask will be your purpose. It's not any sort of, for the 2 micron sort of, filter type thing. It'll be for the bad pollution that we have to deal with on a daily basis. The smoke pollutions. It'll be beneficial for our human species, but of course what will then happen is the fact that it'll, again, because we're not used to, we're filtering out all those sort of things. Like, I ate mud when I was a kid, come on.
I played in the sewage.
Yeah, that's right. The kids these days, they're going to grow up in a sterile environment, and the slightest little pathogen is going to kill them off,
They're all like that. What was it, Robbie Benson, the Bubble Boy?
Yeah.
The boy in the bubble.
Yeah.
I know.
They're all like that now.
I was doing some computer work with one of those bubble kids, back in the early '80s. I had to go around to his house and go through, this sterile cleansing process that they had set up. With this airlock in the front of their house. I'd go and just spend an hour with him a week, teach him a few things on the computers. That was a really weird experience. I did that for 6 months while while they paid me. Didn't mind that. But yeah, I know what it's like, those little bubble kids. I don't know how they're going to survive in a world like that we've got now. Mind you, they might be able to actually get out of their bubble because we're sterilising everything, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert's just saying COVID, no mate at the moment. Yeah, okay. Let's scroll up again. What's that thing? Wouldn't scroll so damn fast. France passed the rule, no jab passport show. Yeah, like I've heard about that. This is stage 3, stage 4. G'day, go hopping. How you doing? My inflatable girlfriend should arrive. My inflatable girlfriend should arrive next week. Her name is Maiden Shana. Oh, we're gonna have all the jokes this morning. All the expats out there.
Mitch is on full.
That's it. All the expats out there, Tesco shelf stackers and the Nella stuff. Okay, fair enough. I think we all need to get the vax and not keen. We will. The the planet will eventually fall into line. It will take a couple of years before we'll sort of see anything really sort of progress into a normality stage. People have been asking me when they come onto the Discord, when do you think you should book your holidays? But it's the same. Maybe aim at Q2 next year. Songkran maybe. Things will things will lighten up. They should have close to 60% of Thailand vaccinated by that time. But they're already saying the Phuket model's completely shot. They're about to go into a lockdown. Currently the Phuket model or the sandbox model has been allowing anybody in Thailand to drive across the bridge as long as they can show certificates that they've been vaccinated or they've had a test within 3 days. That's being shot in the arm. I think 3rd of August they said that that will be shut down, so you can't come in from the rest of Thailand. They were also coming up. The people who are there are they're changing the rules down there as well for the people who are in Phuket. They're going to stay were staying for 14 days. Now they're staying. It was a 7-day stay, and then they'll be given the option to travel around in this closed loop, exploration. Bullshit. Honestly, just they haven't got a clue.
Angry Bubba is here.
Hey, g'day, Angry Bubba, and of course Sean Mark's here. I just saw Sean's there as well. G'day, guys. No.
Good day to you all.
How you doing?
Hey, Sean.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Bubba.
Angry Bubba. Buddha, Angry Bubba. No, I can't even say calling him Angry Buddha. I'm terrible with that.
Angry Buddha. That
yeah.
just doesn't. That would not sound right. The Angry Buddha.
Oh well, that's it. The Angry Buddha's having a go of everybody right now. Yeah. You can stick your face diapers where they're supposed to go on my ass. Unfortunately, it'll come down to the fact that it'll be completely Third Reich, Zig Heil, all that sort of stuff. You don't wear the mask, and of course you'll be put in the gas chambers. This is where we're going to with this planet at the moment. You heard it here first. But yeah, the writing's on the wall. It's just a complete takeover of our free society. They've been the West has been progressively over the last 30 years demonising communism. Yet what are they doing? They're introducing communism, right? Probably more fascism than communism, but this is where we got. It's just unless of course the people sort of turn around and just say we're as mad as hell, we're not going to take it anymore, and they take up arms and sort of sort the shit out, then it's just not going to go away. But that's where we're heading, and I'm pretty sure that they've got more guns than the actual people, unless of course you're in America. Yeah, that's
no
why.
Comment.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think America probably be the last country to fall because that's the particular one situation. There's more guns within the people than there is with the army. So.
All I need to make a gun is a lathe and an air tank.
Is that right? Okay. A lot of towns in Sydney now, especially in South and West Sydney, are not allowed to outdoors without a mask. Yeah, well, this is where it's going as well. Yeah, I personally don't have a problem wearing a mask. I feel a little bit like a wild Westerner, what they call outlaw.
Yeah, well, they've outlawed those types of masks now. Most of the places you have to actually wear a real surgical style mask.
Do they?
They've taken away the ability to wear the tubes, the tube cloths, then cloth masks and all that kind of stuff. They want
really?
They want an actual surgical, certified mask.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is look at the one blonde from California that was wearing a knit mask.
Wouldn't surprise me. I remember sort of Star Citizen. You go into sort of what was the big city there, the big industrial city there, not area. Well, I think it was even in Area 18 as well. But what was the the other end. That
It's been
you,
so long since I've been in Star Citizen.
you,
I
you,
think
you'd
I-
walk
it's
through,
been
and
over a year.
they got these plastic bag sort of things over their head. The breathing
Oh, yeah,
breathing
yeah.
bags. That's coming. But
I think that would actually, I think, make more sense than some of the stuff. Just have a pressurized bag where it's being continuously fed
mm,
fresh air and has a filtered output.
well, there's been so much money being sort of funneled into the whole, what they call facial recognition over the last 10 years. All that money has gone to waste because the facial recognition systems no longer work properly. You know, they do at close range, but the typical sort of the street camera stuff that they're not picking up people anymore. So they either need to come up with clear mask solutions so that their facial recognition software will work again. So that'll be coming. You heard it here first.
I think I forget which show it was watching, but they actually somebody had created a copy of their face and was selling it to people. And people were wearing it, so he was being identified all across the nation. It's like, this guy's popped up over here, and he's popped up over here, he's popped up over here, and it's like, because it was just a rubber face mask that people could put on. It was a real tight fit.
Well, I've got my V for Vendetta mask. I don't know, where do I put my V for Vendetta mask? It's probably in one of the bags at Lebanon. I remember that movie, at the end of the movie, like that's it. They're all wearing the V for Vendetta. We need to go out and buy V for Vendetta masks so we can all wear those around there as masks. But don't forget, you're still going to put the surgical mask across the top of it.
Well, they've had some of the enterprising some young entrepreneurs who have designed these 3D printable masks. That they print the mask, and then you basically cut the cloth out of a regular mask and put it in this mask, and it takes a surgical mask and extends it into 3 times, because you're just putting a small portion of it in. So you're not using the whole mask on every time. It's just like a soft silicone mask with this filter insert on it. So I'm looking at you like you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. I get what you're doing.
My camera up for you to be able to see that.
If we go to images, we've got what's it?
I mean, you could make it look like a Bane mask or any of that kind of stuff. I think I would want to go with the Dune, Freeman masks.
73 baht for these things. They're non-surgical, but there's people doing this already. 73 baht for these sort of things.
But there's no real filtration on that. Just prevents you
from sneezing on people. And then you go, what's
out.
What's this one here? This one here, so you can again. I don't know whether that's a 15 baht.
That one looks like it has some filtration around the outside.
Yeah.
At least, unlike because they were doing that here for a while. They were just wearing these clear plastic face shields, so you couldn't sneeze on somebody or anything. But there's no protection. It's not preventing anything.
Yeah. Some of these get a bit crazy. Plastic bags over your mouth and nose, but like this one here, I think's got some sort of filter on it.
Yeah, it's got the valve on it, so that it will. That's actually supposed to be like I've seen a lot of those that are like one-way valves. You can breathe in, but then you breathe in through the mask, and then that is your exhaust port, so you can breathe out easily.
Yeah, and I've seen this one floating around. That's quite stylish when you look at it. It gives you a full mask, but again, because they're plastic and they're rigid plastic, I don't know exactly how well they'd seal around your face. The filter gizmos at the bottom, but they're rather expensive as well. And 99 mask FDA registered.
Just to help the virus out, because we all know this is actually a virus that was designed to kill stupid people.
Yeah, I know.
Just convince everybody that they can just use a clear garbage bag.
Yeah.
And you duct tape it around your neck.
Yeah, but that'd work.
It will solve the problem.
Yeah, but it's coming. Like, give it another year. They'll be sort of mandated and everything else. And Yeah, don't get me started on this shit.
CDC here just is now saying that even fully vaccinated people should be wearing masks again.
Yeah, sick puppy. Looking like October is off the timeline. May punch in for November. Like I said, if you want to have, I'm saying Q2 next year before you really sort of see any easing of some of these restrictions. But again, like the Phuket model to get out here if you want to. The way it's getting out now, so you can come out now, and really what you've got is you've got a situation. Do you want to spend 2 weeks in a hotel room, or do you want to spend 2 weeks in a hotel room where you can actually walk outside and mingle with the public? Because really, there's nothing open in Phuket anyway. So, why? Well, I'm pretty sure it costs you more to do the Phuket model than a normal ASQ. Right, and there's also the other situation of the fact that if there's anybody in your plane that actually it gets tested, they'll quarantine the whole plane goes into ASQ anyway, so, and then you're going to deal with obviously, getting your refunds and all that sort of crap. So whether you really want to go to Phuket or not, that's really up to you. The only people that really would probably sort of fit into that whole Phuket model are those people who are claustrophobic. They want to get out of their room because, the walls are coming in, and the walls are closing in. You know how it goes. But I want to get there early because I will retire and hope to get a great deal in a condo. Well, sick puppy, look, we've been talking about this all week on our Discord channel, and these are sort of conversations we talk about quite openly, and we sort of share information about what's available all the time. Now, we could do that today. We've been doing it all week. Look, because Todd's about to get out here. Where are you with your sales now? You've got somebody coming in this afternoon to
I'm selling off my car projects and
your car projects.
I've got to kick tenants out of one of my rentals. Try to anyway.
Yeah, that's happening. That's happening right now. I know. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, rentals, as we looked at, they're there, but I'm hoping to get there October, November. Sick puppy looks like it's the same sort of time frame, but. It all depends on what visa you're coming across and everything like that. As we talked about, I want to come across originally to learn the language, but that's looking like it's going pear-shaped as well.
Totally screwed, yes.
But I've got the lucky option. I'm retirement age, so I can look at that one as well. But the Prime Minister actually announced the old passport thing for vaccine. He reckons once Australia reaches something like 70 or 80% vaccinated, it'll be a free-for-all for international incoming and outgoing. Whether that's just pie in the sky stuff, I don't know. But there's still regulations on Australians leaving Australia. There still has to be a reason. So it's not a free-for-all leaving. So.
And Chris is asking about that spray gun that Chanya had. Now I don't have many details on it. She's posted details on her Facebook feed. I don't know if we can actually get it's just that's all we got. Atomizer. I'm not quite sure what the brand was. I don't know. She didn't even tell me how much it cost. She bought it. I didn't buy it, so I've got no idea. Didn't come out of my bank account, you know what I mean? But she's a bit paranoid with that sort of stuff, And I think half of it's fun anyway, It makes the whole ordeal that you got to deal with a little bit more fun when you can pick up something that looks like a gun and shoot your boyfriend, I'm pretty sure that's half the fun. It's just the act of pointing something that looks like a gun at your boyfriend and saying, there you go.
So you think she's practicing for future?
I think she's practicing in case I get a gig. Yes, the next thing she wants to do is buy a real gun. You get a gig, and that's it. I'll go buy a real gun. You know what the Thais are like. I'm betting that they just bite the bullet and allow folks to Well, this is the thing. So the Thai baht is completely fallen through the floor at the moment. which is helping your exports. So, the plus side in Thailand, they're not too worried because their export business is lifting, which is not going to upset their GDP as much because they're selling more crap. But the trouble is they can't keep people in the factories to produce these goods that they want to export. So there's a gap in the because it's, people are falling sick and they're but the Australian dollar is looking fairly healthy. Well, it was hit almost 24.5 this week. It's a little bit down now. It's down to 24.2. And I think the US dollar hit 33 earlier, a day or two ago. So things looking up, looking up for
33.08 right now.
Is it 33.08? So that's good for anybody coming over. You're going to get more bang for your buck. But unfortunately, the places where you get your bang, they're all closed. So what are you going to do? That'll get back. Squirrel, yeah.
Wombat. Here.
Wombat. Yeah.
Sorry, Augie. Sorry.
Eat roots, lose.
Don't make me have to come over there.
Eats roots, shoots, and leaves. It's a wombat. What's the $8 and baht exchange rate now? As I said, it's 24.2 at the moment, but it did hit almost 24.5. So I got to transfer some money next week, a couple of thousand. But yeah, the plus side again is the fact that I'm spending a lot less money than I was before. Because it's basically we got our house, and we might be paying twice what we used to pay for effectively for the rent with the mortgage. Actually, it's 2.5 times what we used to pay. But outside that, it's just food. That's all we're buying. We're not going anywhere. So, what are you linking us here, Augie?
Just that 3D printed mask I was talking about that you just cut and use a portion of it.
Go to site.
Portion of it N95. If you look at my stream, I've got it posted also.
That's all right. We'll just go over here.
You scroll down, they've got an actual picture of it even farther.
Even further down.
There we are.
Yeah.
And then
doesn't
further is where they've actually got the filter in place. There you go.
Yeah, but I think they look a bit dodgy. Those, people. Well, that will never fly. We really do need to think about the aesthetics of this thing here, and it's going to have to be something where you can actually see the person's face. Right? These things that are going to shut down and close off that face area, they will never really take off in the public. So that clear one that we saw before. They're just rather expensive. I think they were 700 baht or something like that. I think what is the sort of price of them.
They're going to have to go to like the what they're using in the hospitals right now, which is basically a full hood with a hose that comes off the back with the little air kit that hangs on your belt.
No, I don't.
Paint your whole face.
It'll never go to that. It'll be something that'll be a comfortable fit, and there'll be sort of multiple sizes. The trouble is the fact that everybody's face shape changes, and you're going to have to something that deals with multiple faces. Some small, medium, black, because like myself with a large nose, and I'm not the only person with a large nose. These masks that here we're using now, these are good because they do have a relatively good fit around the face. But they're only sort of, they're only dual layer. They're not N95, but it's better than nothing at all. But it'll eventually go to clear masking sort of stuff. Some people come up with a design that will work, that will fill in the gaps, which will be comfortable, which will allow people to see their face, and the price has to fit. Right, that's a price. It'll be a price consciousness thing. They're going to have to fit in like those things there. Are what you get 10 for 30 baht. Something clear. 5 for 100 baht sort of thing, or that sort of pricing. I think that's where it's going to have to be a price target point for a manufacturer. I could look. If I had access to all the stuff I've used and in industry, I could have something designed and built within a week. But again, nobody's asking me. Basically, get something, a vacuum form mould. I'd even use my own face for a vacuum form mould. Build something up there, and do some shaping. Using sort of polystyrene, what they call clear polyester, vacuum formed. Blister pack sort of stuff that then takes a clip. It wouldn't take long for me to design something up. I could have something in a week.
Here's one that probably meets with the criteria you're looking for.
What do you got? Well, looking at your stream. Where do we go? What's your stream? Okay, pop that out. What do we got there? There's Augie's sharing something with us. Drop that over here. What are you looking at? Yeah, that's again something, but again, it's still a fairly rigid plastic. How much? They want $19.
Well, it doesn't have to be rigid. That might be, the soft silicone.
Yeah, I suppose that's
it's got some, it's got some colors to it. People will be able to, pick their stuff.
Yeah, I do find, like in my mask, I'm getting like if you've got the mask on for a couple, like especially last Tuesday, it was on for 4.5 hours. I started getting a sore top of my earlobe because the stretch. That's something that has to be in the design. That has to be taken care of.
What they've done now is they've got a little. It looks like a ladder with the round that extend out that you hook your loops onto instead of your ear.
Is that
and
right?
It wraps
Yeah.
around the back of your head, so that you're taking that pressure off your ears, and it hooks onto this little loop. But it's another little 3D printed thing that you just put it around, maybe 4 or 5 inches long, and you hook your loops on it, and it takes these masks that are wrap around the ear and makes them extend further.
Yeah, but as I said, looking at this thing here, this particularly here, it is a rigid plastic. There's no doubt about it. That's not a soft plastic. If you went to something like what they call it, a polyethylene, it's like those little blister plaques you get for food containers, made out of that sort of stuff. Something that's fairly flexible. You got to get the price has to come down below $19 each.
How about we go find all those used tyres, break them down into little pellets, remold them, and that'll be environmentally friendly.
But the carbon, getting the carbon out of the rubber is very difficult. It's a very costly exercise.
Just spitballing, that's all.
I know.
I was trying to be a greenie for about 3 seconds, and now I've
Stop
back
that.
to normal. Yeah.
See, the straps are flexible at least. I think the mask might be flexible too. You can see how they.
Yeah, they've done something. Look, I'd have to get one to see how it fits, but I know in my case it's the big nose problem.
You're more well endowed than most people.
Yeah, I know. Air's free. Just leave me alone. Go hoppy. Rigid plastic or silicon could be better for the environment in the long run. They can be cleaned daily and better than disposable masks. Yeah, exactly. I think this is where it's going to have to come. And again, I just don't have access to my equipment, the stuff I used to, in the plastics industry when I was, production manager of a plastics company. I could have had something designed in a week. I don't know why I haven't seen anything out there. But again, and you do them out of that blister pack sort of material. They're very, very inexpensive. For a square metre of that plastic, I could get a couple of dozen moulds, and that sheet of plastic only cost about $1.50, right? And then all I need is basically the cutting tools to cut it. It's so easy to do, but I haven't sort of seen anything coming up. It's almost like the people in those industries can't be bothered doing it. I'd be sort of right on the ball with that shit. There's a marketing sort of opportunity there. You could make a squillion. But anyway.
Yeah, if you came up with a good one, it could be.
Well, I made some pretty.
You could be the next Jeff Bezos.
I could be, yes, I know. Well, some of what have I done in that area? Like most of the stuff you see in the the cosmetic stands, like Revlon and a few other big brands like that. All those sort of designed point of sale displays. That's the sort of shit that I used to do back in the industry. They'd come and they'd give you the product and sort of say, we want to display it. It's got this. Here's the space. Here's the size. Design me something. And you'd come up with all these harebrained designs, and that was a lot of fun. I won an award once for this the company did for something I did was a glasses display.
Marketing.
It was a glasses display and it was basically a flat plastic, sort of tubular design, had an underlight effects to the fact that these tubes would glow, and depending on the filter, they'd have a blue glow or a red glow, and one of the sort of award for our company back in 88, 89. Some sort of convention, but yeah.
Put a mask on to walk into a bank. Yep, you have to. If you'd have done that 3 years ago, they'd have been screaming at you, pulling guns and everything.
Yeah. Well, why not a Hessian bag and just cut out the eyes and mouth? Yeah, fair enough. Well, some of the masks you got out there, that's probably about as good. Hessian bag is probably just as good. All right, perhaps consider ditch the mask and use the scuba oxygen tank. Well, that's where we're going, isn't it? Must admit, it still feels weird putting on a mask to walk into the. Yeah, it isn't that weird. Yes, So, you got all these signs that are saying no caps, no sunglasses, and no, what they call it, outlaw masks, but you can walk in with one of these masks. And yes, they still look at you if you've got the fucking cap on, you've got a mask on and you've got a cap on, and you still get that look as why you got a cap on.
I took my mother to the airport this week, and I went with her up to the gate, so I got to get a gate pass. I had to go through the TSA screening and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I take off my shoes. And he's like, "Can you take your mask down so I can see your face?" Because when he's checking my ID, he had to actually take the mask off so he could see. Like, well, you guys are requiring we wear the masks inside.
All right, so it's a Friday, Sunday. Okay, so the Sunday's photos. No, the lounge cap. Yeah, okay, the lounge cap.
Or receiver.
Yeah, had to take a photo when we're in the car park at Bang Sue. Had to take because that's a freaking massive car park. Where did we park the car? Oh, J16. That's all the video that was shot on my phone while we were there. There's some of the other photos. It's like you go on like. If we don't get a supercluster out of this bullshit, I don't know what's going. Well, this is raising the question. We're not hearing, like they've been doing this for over a week now, and we're not hearing about superclusters at Bang Sue. This is like the pot calling the kettle black again, Why aren't we hearing about superclusters when we've got this shit going on? As I said in my video, I see less crowded go-go bars, but they're all shut down. Right? Yet they allow this to go on. It is ridiculous. But this is what we got.
I don't see anybody swapping bodily fluids here.
Point taken. Okay. Of course, the thing that crossed my mind is all, apart from the DRR, Department of Rural Roads, inside, there's all these little, I don't know if you can see them here, the sponsorship, of the National Telecom and your sort of the 5G AIS, and you go on, it's a marketing campaign. It's got nothing to do with the virus. Right? If it was virus specific, there'd be no freaking advertising. But yeah, again, and you get into the side, where is it? More of the seating, waiting to get inside. It was absolutely, Here we start to see us separated the chairs, but they do this chair walk, you know. You got to get from this chair into this chair as the line goes down, you know. How do you know?
They're not cleaning them in between people sitting on them, are
Well,
they?
we had our alcohol spray. At least we were spraying our chairs when we sat on them, but nobody else is. Nobody gives a shit, you know. Again, it's just one of those sort of things. Well, I wouldn't have bothered, but Chanya's a bit, you know, thinking bit for.
Right there on the screen, you got a guy wearing 2 masks. It's like, really?
That's right. And of course, you get down
The
here,
black and the blue?
and the line is going all the way down here. You know, for the regular tyres, and of course, there's been a scam with it. There's a scam somebody's got in after hours and been selling positions on the queues, you know, for 400 to 1,200 baht to get, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 spots per day. That some sort of scam. For something that's free, you know, like this is a free viral, you know, like this. People have been asking, how much did I pay? Well, it was free, you know, it's part of the organisation, which is helpful to know the fact that they're not trying to scam the money out of you. But yeah, you're in these little queues here, and you walk down. You're basically going down the queue, sitting on somebody else's seat. You don't know who else is sat there. You know, you go, oh my God. But yeah, so then of course then we get there, and is the video going to play? Yeah. Takes me in, there she is, gives me my paperwork, blah blah blah. Yeah.
He's going to try and kill your whatever you got on your arm there.
Yeah, somebody was just saying they're not aspirating the needles here. And I'm going, well, the needles are already prepared. So somebody else, if you look in the background, you'll see somebody's preparing all these needles.
Somebody's already done it.
Yeah, so...
and going into the muscle, it's not as important as going into a vein.
Yeah. I've had worse mosquito bites, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was, you know, I got the thing that's in my bag there, come back on the 19th. I don't know if I can actually read that.
Well, I know what's happened. She stole your 5G chip, dude.
Did she?
She just kept it. She's going to sell it on the road.
Oh, that's what's going
Sell it on
on.
the street side, you know.
How do we get going?
Power's available. Step on up.
Is she doing another TikTok? What's she doing there? I don't know. What was this Wednesday? Where did she go on Wednesday? What was that one?
Come on up. Come
I
on.
don't know what the... Hello.
It's wet.
So they've all got their masks on, no bloody helmets.
Helmets.
They've all,
Well, you know, the virus is more likely to kill you than getting in the accident, right?
well, there's something that came through on my feed yesterday. I don't know if we can do the show somebody else's. This is the Thailand legal thing. We'll get to that in a minute. What else was there? 1 second, 44. So I don't know what she's talking. I've got a basic idea what she's talking. Not quite sure what that's all about.
Okay, I'll be back.
Where you going to?
Hong Nam.
Hong Nam. Hi, Hong Nam. Can't quite figure out what that's all about. Oh yeah, it's had some pretty decent looking storms coming in the other day, especially last night. Stephen Monash was on. He just called me as I was getting in we just got some more water, and he just called me as we were just getting into the house, and it just came down in bucket loads. I didn't video, but you know, love this time of the year. I actually like the wet season. You know, the rice is all green and ready to harvest, and everything just looks so clean. Oh yeah, we got flowers on the frangipani this morning. Yesterday, I think. That was yesterday. The first couple of flowers on the frangipani. Yeah. Not many photos. We're not going many places, so again, videos will be limited because we're not going anywhere. You know, I think we're just shopping and eating. That's about all we've got at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, there are some people saying that not aspirating is a reason for the blood clots with the injecting into the muscle and injecting directly into the blood vein will have different effects. The eggs. This is what happens with a non-aspirated needle. But yeah, again, you know, if they're pre-aspirated, you know, they don't have the time to do all that aspiration on those things. Effectively it's a sheep dipping queue. You know, you're just running through the, you know, sheep dip. You know, quick, let's just get them in there. In and out. So, you know, they'll have somebody doing, you know, aspirating the needles out the back, and they'll have somebody who's very good at it. And then they have the nurses at the front just jabbing in your arm and just pressing the button, and away you go. You know, that part was fairly quick. The part that took a long time in the thing was the multiple cue lengths. You know, first, you know, like it took us, you know, like 15 minutes. After we got there, it took 15 minutes to find which queue we were in. Now, they send you an SMS, you know, to tell you to go there. They could have said which queue, right? Because there was queue, you know, door 1 through to 4. They could have said door 2 would have been helpful on the SMS. Don't know why that didn't happen, but, you know, that's again the organisational skills, you know, leaves something to be desired. We'll get to that shit in a minute. Then so you get in one queue, that took 3 or 4 cycles at about, you know, on average 8 minutes each. Then we're in another queue, which we're sitting down, so we're sitting down waiting to go in, and that was like row by row, so that was so that the Thais could fill out their details in the form. Us foreigners, we had a separate form that was in English, which we got when we were inside. Now, why that couldn't have been brought outside and given to us as well, that's again an organisational skill that was seen to be missing. But again, us English-speaking foreigners, you know, we only comprise about 5% of the foreigners there in the queue, you know, and this is the thing that's blowing my mind. Where we were, these were foreigners. This was a foreigner entry queue. Right, yes, I could definitely tell that there were Koreans and there were Japanese and there were Chinese in the queue, just, you know, by careful observation of people's phones and what characters are on their phones when they're typing. I don't know if you do that. I do that sort of shit, don't worry. You know, I'm observant at that level. I don't look in front of me. I have 180-degree vision. I ride a motorcycle. And you know the sort of people in the queue, but then of course then you get in to they start to fill out these things, they hand out these forms, and all these forms are in Thai. So these are foreign, you know, these are foreigners in Thailand that can read and write fluent Thai. You know, aren't they Thai? Shouldn't they be in the Thai section if that's the case? But anyway, it doesn't make sense to me, really. Anyway, so, you know, you do it, you just follow that thing. It's a bit weird. Was it Mr. Mitch family issues here, guys? Feeling a bit down? Gonna call it for a night. Okay, Mr. Mitch, great to have you along, as always. I think he's reaching burnout with the amount of bloody channels he must go on live stream with and moderate. Anybody, you know, what's your PayPal account, Mr. Mitch? Maybe we should raise some donations for Mr. Mitch for the good work he does. You've got put your PayPal me down there in the chat box. What else have we got? I thought you have to jab and draw to make that. No, that's only if you're doing sort of, you know, if you're doing shots of cocaine or amphetamine or heroin. You want to actually draw out in the bloodstream just to make sure the blood's, you know, you've got a vein. But these should be injected straight into the muscle so that it actually causes the reaction in the lymph nodes. But yeah, again, I'm no expert at this stuff, so. Okay, so I'm Cav X2. What's CAV X2? We have to donate blood regularly. Does that mean I'm more vulnerable? I don't know what CAV is. CAV doesn't ring a bell, that acronym. I'm probably sure that people who are CAV would know what that means, but I certainly don't.
I'm just taking a guess. Is that Corona anti-vax or something like that? Well, I don't know. That's a guess.
No, he'll tell us in a minute. We've got to wait for 30 seconds for him to get what we're asking the question about, then he'll type it in there. Anyway, so getting along to the what ifs, what's Thailand like today? So we've had a gradual increase. If we have a look at these numbers, we dipped down on the 27th, which was the day we went into get our injections done. We're down to 14,000, then of course we've got a steady increase, 16, 17, 18. They say by mid-August we'll probably be seeing 30,000, and they'll stay thinking that it's going to probably peak around 30,000 before we start to see a decline again. But yes, 178. What I was going to make reference to, like, we've got to keep this thing here into, how many deaths. Like, even at 178 deaths, that's really only 3 times the average deaths on the road per day. Now, but of course it is gradually increasing. But when you start to look at the total, I think about 4,500 over the last 18 months. Now they do that. That's the same as the road deaths, for 100 days in Thailand, not 1.5 years, not 400 days. So, rightly enough, what we're seeing is we're seeing these cases, the deaths escalate now, but it's less than 0.08% of the population, 0.08% of the population. I think it's the numbers that he was using yesterday. This is from. He was making a point on his video that Thai legal, the American Thai legal thing. There was something that was linked on my Facebook. He specifically giving you the reality of the numbers. But again, they're still not telling you exactly, what they're dying of. They're just basically, this is if they died and they had COVID in their system. Effectively 70% of those are dying of, heart disease, lung disease, kidney disease, other diseases. This, the amount of people that are dying just directly from pneumonia is actually very small. And this is the thing again that nobody's making any real point of. The fact is, if you have poor health, all this is just like this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, because although they've got medical procedures to ease the passing of people in other conditions, they don't have procedures really, enough procedures in place to alleviate the difficulty in a COVID aspirated situation, because it is a lung disease and you've got to go onto oxygen bottles, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Somebody dying of cancer, they'll sit in the fucking bed for 3 months, and they'll be on morphine injections to ease the pain. I'm just thinking of my father when he passed. So he was on morphine for 3 months. Now, if he got COVID back then, right, then he would have been, he would have had tubes down his lungs, right, and he would have gone much faster, but he would have had that discomfort, of pumping oxygen into his lungs just to keep him alive. We also fail to realise the fact that a lot of the people, and I'm in the same group. I'm 60 years old now. Like, I'm fairly fit. I've had zero reaction from my injection. But I've taken care of my body. I've been basically, I refuse to take pharmaceutical paraphernalia because my toe hurts or something like that. I'm not a hypochondriac. I've basically, anytime I've been to the doctor, You know, like okay, I have what they call arthritis. You know, from an injury I did 15 years ago, and now it's actually starting to get arthritis in this finger here. This is my mouse clicking finger, and it gets a bit sore from time to time. I do have a medicinal for that, but you know, like when I was first prescribed that medicinal, I'm straight onto the internet. I go to drugs.com and a couple of other sort of like MIMS and drugs.com. You go in there. What does this drug do? What's its side effects? I'm very, very critical about what I'm putting in my body when it comes, which is really weird because like the shit I used to put in my body when I was young, you would not believe. But yeah. I'm very critical about what goes in, even orally, what goes in my body, But I want to know was, this particular, anti-inflammatory. They sort of said if you any more than 2 per day over a 2-week period can cause stomach ulcers, right? And somebody who has GERD, like myself, I have GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disorder, which I keep at bay with a beta blocker. But I don't take beta blockers every day. I watch my body condition. I listen to what my body tells me. I also look at my diet when I'm eating, and if I abuse my diet, then if I know I'm going to go out on a night eating and drinking, I will take a beta blocker before I go out. That a beta blocker before I go out, that's a preventative sort of measure, as opposed to sort of having to take antacids or something like that for 3 days after to sort of settle things down. This is just the way I operate my body. It's my temple, my body, all I use my rules. The doctors tell me I shouldn't do that. Well, I'm quite bloody healthy without the doctors freaking sort of say so. What does he know? He doesn't live in this body, if you know what I mean. That's the way it goes. That's the way I look at it. I'm just as capable of doing the research as he is. Right, and he is just concerned about putting people through the door to make his dollar. I will spend hours doing the research, not on YouTube, on things like PhysOrg and the medical freaking journals. The places that the peer-reviewed articles, the actual clear evidential, technical journals is where I go for my information. I'm not going to go and do YouTube video. Like seriously, the amount of people doing study on YouTube and in epidemiology is astounding. It really is. Stop sending me those links for all these experts on YouTube, guys. Like I don't watch them. I honestly do not bother. I placate you. I read the email and I read your message on Facebook, but I don't. Look, if I see a video and it's got YouTube, basically it does not get watched. I couldn't be bothered with all these so-called experts. They have got no freaking clue. Right, and they don't cite any peer-reviewed articles, right? If you're going to get some information out there to the public, let's have some solid evidence, which is proper scientific studies, proper scientific information, right? Proper peer-reviewed, right? Scientific journals, right? And they do exist. You just got to dig a little bit deeper. Not what you saw on CNN or what you saw on freaking Fox News. It doesn't mean diddly fucking squat, guys. It really doesn't. They're just one person's opinion. If you want to know how to deal with this shit, you just got to read the fucking stuff that the doctors read, right? And it's quite freely available. You just got to go searching for it, right? You got to be creative, But it's definitely not out of sight. It's just the fact that it's just not as well publicised in the public media, right? You got to go places for it. You got to go special places, but it's up to you if you want to do the real research. That is. But yeah, that's enough of the rant about that. But yeah, just my body, my temple. I'll deal with it way. I will wear a mask because I feel that I need to consider the other people around me. Right, I need to make not that I'm spreading any disease, but more that it actually makes them feel at peace. Right, the whole idea is we need to be thinking about other people and their lack of knowledge and their lack of how things really work in the real world, because they have been conditioned, right, through the propaganda of the media and every other thing that's in their face every 5 minutes of the day. Right, they are programmed by the system to think a certain way, and it's only when you start as we were talking about. It's only until you start to see the frauds do you actually start to think differently, right? And this is what we're going to do. We need to be conscientious of providing a safe, pleasant environment for these people who've got no brains, right? Doesn't matter. It's not affecting your ability to breathe. Come on. Just think about other people for a change. And that's why I wear a mask. I choose to wear a mask. Sometimes you see me without a mask because there's nobody around me, you know. There's no point having a mask on my nose and mouth if there's nobody around me that's going to see me apart from you and the camera. Let's get the idea. It's more of an intelligence than anything else, and it's an intelligence quotient, test that we are going through now. And let's not go there. The average IQ of the planet is 100, right? Just remember, statistically speaking, 50% of them don't make the grade. That's just statistics, guys. Anyway, moving right along. What have I missed on the chat? Soy Hollywood. I have had both vaccine jabs. 60 years old and live in the UK. Got COVID after my daughter tested positive. Felt like having a winter cold and didn't end up in hospital or dying. Yeah, well, that's the thing. So, again, vaccines, what do vaccines do? If you look at the peer-reviewed, a vaccine is not meant to stop the virus. The vaccine is to prepare your immune system for a pathogen, right, so that it knows how to react faster. Now, your immune system will do that with the COVID virus, right, depending on how well your immune system is trained to react to foreign pathogens. If you have been suppressing your immune system for 30 years by taking Prozac and other things there to make you feel good, well, guess what? You have a depressed immune system because you have been throwing drugs at it to suppress certain qualities of a normal life. Right? Yes, it is okay to feel down sometimes. This is what we do as human beings. Taking Prozac doesn't help the problem. It just makes you forget about the problem. But it doesn't. Not only does that, it affects your mind and the dopamine sort of production and things like that make you feel good. It also suppresses your immune system. Right? This is what goes on when you take these drugs. Right? They all have an effect on the body. Right? Anybody who doesn't take drugs like that, there's pretty much a lot healthier than the person who takes, things for, Prozac for making them feel up or down or what, I don't know what. Prozac go up or down? I don't know, I can remember. Prozac makes you feel down, doesn't it? Where's Todd?
Yeah, Prozac.
Makes you go
makes
down?
You feel relaxed. Yeah,
Relaxed. It makes you relaxes you.
Yeah.
That's right. And of course, there's other ones that make you feel up. I know that we've gradually sort of had, pseudoephedrine sort of being removed from pharmaceutical, manufacturing sort of, but anything with pseudoephedrine that actually brings your system up, it's like it's a synthetic speed, right? And all these sort of things, they adjust the way your body reacts to pathogens. The less you've had of those sort of, things that you take, then your body is going to be very quick to react, right, to a foreign pathogen. Taking a vaccine, what does that do? It says, well, here's a foreign body, it's deactivated, which means they've stopped the viral vector. But it sort of says, okay, well, we've got a foreign pathogen, right? I've got a fairly good immune system, right? My white blood cells, are good. My red blood cells are good. Everything's good, right? And it sees this foreign body, it reacts and just goes out with in my case, it's gone out with the AK-47 and just bloody blasted it away, and it's gone in probably an hour, or 2 hours, or 5 hours. I don't know. I didn't feel any side effects. People who are feeling side effects from these vaccines, well, those people, right, your immune system is reacting a bit more violently to the pathogen because of the fact that it's not well conditioned to pathogens, right, because probably if you've taken other drugs, right, other drugs that have suppressed this ability that the body does naturally. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't stop the virus from happening. The virus will still continue to get into your body, all right, and wreak havoc. right? But unfortunately, what you're doing with the vaccine is training your system to see this virus, or it's to see it, and it knows how to react, because the fact that the COVID-19 looks the same at the cellular level as the viral vector vaccines that we're taking. That's how it works. Yeah. So as I said, as Cy Hollywood says there, instead of being hospitalised with a severe respiratory syndrome, you get a common cold, right? Okay, I had a runny nose, probably sort of 6 to 8 hours after. I took a couple of shots of my nasal spray, cleared that up, and it was all good in the morning. So maybe I did have a reaction, but thing is, I get that reaction anyway. Any sort of dust particles, and we have got the rainy weather. I didn't really equate that to the injection. I just equated to just the natural conditions. We had rain that night. A bit later than normal. Could have made my nose a bit stuffy. But yeah, 2 squirts with the Nile decongestant, bang bang. 3 minutes later, can breathe again. All cool. But that was just me. Bill, that was last night. Okay. Don't get me started on the COVID. Yeah, I know. I have one Kent. I have one Kent complain about blood clots. But he smokes. Yeah. Again, if you're a smoker, that's another thing that can have an effect on your belly. Any of these sort of things, they all affect the body, right? We as human beings don't want to think about our bodies as what we call our temple, right? You're the one living in the body. This is your what do you call it? Corporeal computer. It's just this is your I'm trying to think of the word. Nobody else. This is your temple. This is your ability to move within the environment. This is your 3D avatar in this virtual world we live in called space, right? Nobody else lives in it, right? Stop offloading the care and attention to other people who don't live in your body, if you know what I mean. Only you live in your body. You're the one who receives the 7 billion signals every second, right? Your body is trained to forget 6,999,000,999 of those signals every second to be, okay, I only wants to listen to one that's going to affect my ability to continue my life for the next second ongoing, but we filter everything out. Whereas if you take acid, right, or LSD, if you've had LSD in your lifetime, you'll know the fact that what does LSD do? LSD removes the filters, right? After you've had LSD a few times and done it under proper somatic conditions and start to understand what acid really does, do you understand how we filter everything in our psyche, right? It's an eye opener, and of course anybody that's taken acid will probably pretty much agree with me. The fact that your life changes. Right, you realise the fact that this is just like an avatar in a virtual world. We experience life through this avatar, and everything, all these signals, they're happening all the time. If you take an acid enough times, those filters are always open. We call it third eye chakra and all other things and other different panthenons. Once you've opened those chakras, you just can't close them down. You feel everything. A lot of people, in this sort of paradigm, in my experience, right, become very empathetic. We not only feel everything in our life, we feel what goes around us. We feel inside other people. We get those signals that you guys experience because you broadcast them it's like a megaphone, and it gets very difficult sometimes for us to deal with that sort of shit. Well, let's not go into that's another discussion I don't really want to have.
That's Discord.
Yeah, that's what we talk about on Discord. The real shit about how life works. It's this is the thing, people are so conditioned to just pop a pill, like from the 1960s, Roger Ramjet takes his proton pill, he's, so conditioned to always taking that pill, right? How about just slow down for a minute and just take it's 5 minutes and do a little short little breathing exercise. You might have heard that thing, count to 10 backwards and take a deep breath. It's probably as good as Panadol, but anyway. What do I say? Roy Guide, I'm 68. I'm thankful I don't have to take anything. I got to scroll down. I'm missing so much. It's very little meat, loads of fruit, vegetables, fish. Eating healthy. That's another thing. Let's talk about eating healthy, guys. Okay, I might eat a bit of junk food, but that's just the fun stuff. I eat everything in moderation, if you know what I mean. Oh, we get another little spam chat there, just whatever. What's he doing? Okay, delete space, yeah, whatever. Yeah, message deleted. Yeah, put them on a timeout, they'll go away. Yes, there is a little bit there. So, again, eating healthy, eating sort of a good balanced diet. There is this thing they call the food pyramid, right? In that food pyramid, you don't see junk food missing, but you see a balance of foods, right? Everything in moderation. Where it gets weird in food intake is the fact that you get out of balance with it. You don't balance the diet with the good stuff and the bad stuff. No, we have got a very, very good chemical factory in our body that takes care of this shit, right? And it's going to break it down. Like I said, I don't know why people sort of get so up and tight about the green stuff and they've got to have this, they've got to have that. Well, when you start to do the chemical formulas of these sort of things, right? And those chemicals exist in the junk food as well as the green stuff. And people people seem to get all upset about it, but when it breaks down to those basic chemicals, you throw it in a vat of hydrochloric acid, right? Look at what the hydrochloric acid then dissolves these things into. It's exactly the same shit. Come on, wake up and smell the roses, guys, right? It's just the fact that if you put too many sugars in it, then of course, then you can change the way the sugar's processed, and the sugar then says, well, we don't always have sugar, so we might store some of that. We'll put that up into sort of fat cells. And come on, this is how medical. Come on, I don't go into it. Everybody's an expert out there. Look after your own body, guys. That's it. But the cops back down. Okay, just saw the news. The virus is spreading all over China. Yes, China's the. I was watching Lowy, what his name was, I forget on my YouTube, don't know. He did an interesting article 2 days ago. Where's my history? Probably don't need to show you my history, but where was it? This one here. This was a good article, talking about how China responds to articles. But he talks a bit like, change the word China for Thailand. This is also going on in Thailand. It's about how the media manipulates things, how the numbers are being adjusted here in China, right? Like these floods have killed hundreds of people, right? And they're sort of only 57 have been recorded. That flooding of the tunnel he goes in to talk about. I think they counted 6 deaths in that tunnel that flooded, right? And you look at how many cars were in that tunnel when they dredged the tunnel out. No way only 6 people died, but this is how many media manipulate shit, I don't know if you ever follow it. Basically, he's anti-China, this guy. He's part of the ADV China team, which I watch every so often. But again, it's all propaganda, As soon as our lockdown is finished, so I'm going to just start to get out there with a camera and do more real life just around the traps. People think that it's the end of the world. Life still goes on, guys. And something that we keep on seeming to be missing is the fact that life is pretty normal. The thing that we're missing here in Thailand right now is the smile, because you can't see the smiles behind the fucking mask, right? The other thing we're missing is the fact that the general upbeatness. But Thais will still get these things done as soon as we can get some markets opened again, like the open air market for out the end of our street is opened again. I'm not quite sure how they do that because everything else got locked down, but I'm not even going to try to ask the questions anymore. But we drove past there a couple of days ago and noticed that market was open again. Yet the markets down at the Big C in Omyai, they've been closed. There's no rhyme or reason. But as soon as the things start to relax here in the next week or two, we'll get out and sort of show you. Like, we got tourism as a problem, yes, and tourism does equate to a lot of money being filtered through the system. But life still goes on. People still get on with life. They've just got masks on. You can either, just get on with life, or you can worry yourself sick about it. It's not about being reprogrammed. If you know what's going on, then you're not being reprogrammed, right? The effect of the lockdowns will have a very sort of minimal effect because you know what's going on. That's the end of the story. It's not like you're not being prepared for the shit that's going on, and you've got to make your own judgments on how you call it as well. Have a great week and stay on. And stay safe. Greetings from the Netherlands. Okay, Chief stay save my friends XXX. Oh no, Shield. No, Shield. Okay, I just put his name. Paul A. Not a best Todd Austin. Not the best Todd Austin. Just got my front tooth pulled. Oh, okay, so. Wait 6 weeks before I can get a fake tooth put in. Okay. Yeah. Again, scary shit. Really good. When I chat to my family in London, everything is normal. Yeah, everything's starting to settle down. People are the governments of the world are starting to realise that they can no longer continue this scare campaign, and they're also realising the numbers are showing the fact that they're just going to have to let this thing here be part of society. Right, but as I said, it's going to take the vaccination program to get a good footing. 60 to 70% of the vaccinated population vaccinated, right? Before the governments are going to feel confident of the fact that they can keep things on top. Yes, they take up a lot of space in the hospitals. Thailand is doing the wrong thing by refusing home quarantine for the asymptomatic and the mild flu cases. Just leave the beds open for the ones that have got a problem. The ones that do need breathing apparatus. But I'm pretty sure if you start to look at the statistical data of the people who need to go on ventilators, they've already got problems already with their health, right? They've probably already had their life extended for 10 years and beyond what would normally be considered to be appropriate, if they didn't keep on taking these pharmaceuticals that extend their life. People understand people die, right? And unfortunately, it's a sad situation we have to deal with. Our friends die. I'm getting to that age now where there's a couple of people who have passed away on our little line group in the last 6 months. But they didn't die of COVID, they died of cancer or something or other else. We get to that age, we start to sort of see as life is very temporary on this planet. And we're just going to be a little freaking bold about it. Let's just accept the fact that we're going to die, right? Can we make the journey a little bit more pleasurable for other people? And I think that's where we sort of tend to lose it, as we look at ourselves, we don't look at the others, and we get a little bit selfish. Warren, love that picture of the motorbike you put on Facebook this week. Yeah, that was the where was my photo on my Facebook? I'd have to go to that one. It only went to a few of my friends, so let me see if I can find my photos.
Oh, was it the Tron motorbike?
Oh, the
Maserati.
The Maserati, yeah. I had no idea how much that costs. Oh my God. But yeah, would you ride one of those? Like, I'd ride it for the sheer sake. The seat doesn't look all that comfortable. That looks quite a rigid
No.
seat. That seat looks rigid. You know, that'd really wreck your balls. I'm sorry, especially over speed bumps.
I'd give it a ride for the joy of actually riding it.
Yep.
Imagining I was in the theatre in Tron and about to take someone out, but that would be it. I wouldn't own it.
No, that's it. It's one of those things. It's a pose. It's a pose vehicle. You know, it's all there for the image, which is what, you know. Again, you know, it always reminds me of that Bill Cosby sketch, 200 mph, where he bumps into Carol Shelby in at Walmart or something. You know, and Carol walks on and says, "Hey man, why you drive them foreign cars, man? Like, you're an American. Why don't you drive those American cars?" And Bill turns around and says, "Well, for one thing, an American car does 160 mile an hour. The foreign car does 180 mile an hour or better. I need a car that does 180 mile an hour or better to get to work, because like I live like 2 miles from work, so I can say goodbye to my wife and boom, I'm at work." And Carol Shelby turns around and says, "Well, man, my company, the Cobra Company, will make you a car that'll do 200 mile an hour or better. It'll have dual everything. It'll have dual pipes. It'll have dual steering wheels. It'll have dual compartments. Dual cryometers. Dual fuel limiters. Dual everything." And Bill's going, "Yeah, man, give me that car. Give me that car, man. I gotta have that car." I don't know. Do I do a good American accent? Probably not. I still remember that sketch. I don't know. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find that sketch anywhere. God, it's just been, that was 1970s, I think he did that one. And it was on an LP. I remember playing it a few times.
Oh, vinyl. Oh,
Vinyl, yeah, that's right. It was on vinyl. I don't think it made it digital. But yeah, if anyone ever finds the Bill Cosby 200 mph sketch, I think it's a classic. You've got to listen to it. Bill Cosby. A full album, okay. Supposedly somebody has put it up there. And it goes for 39, 40 minutes. There it is. Yeah. I won't play it because it's 68, vinyl album, yeah. It's a classic. If you ever get a chance to read it, it is a classic. You have to listen to it. Come on. I'll put the link up. Come on. You're going to go there? Yeah. It is as funny as shit, you know. And we could all do Bill Cosby impersonations next week.
Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong. Bring up
Cheech
Cheech and Chong.
Bring up Cheech and Chong. They're still alive, I believe. Bill Cosby is no longer the flavour of the month because of his, what do you call it? Me Too, anti-Me Too bullshit, and supposedly.
I think they let him out last week.
They did let him out the other week, yes, but unfortunately, still got that over his, that dangling carrot over his head, People are going to realise that shit just goes on in Hollywood all the time, and those kids that were enticed into doing what they did. Well, I'm pretty sure that he sort of said, come on, we're going to have some fun here, and they were asked, do you want to take the drugs? And they sort of said, yeah, man. But that was then, 3 or 5 years later, they realised what they'd done, and no, I was not, it was against my will. Well, bullshit. What a load of crap that is, You took the drugs. Nobody forced them down your throat. Anyway. Only 80,000 people in China died during the first wave, and only 8,000 when they were welding people into their homes. They're coming back in 2 weeks to see. Yeah, but they're going. Of course, the Sinovac is not as effective as the later versions of antivirals, and this Delta virus. This will be the one that sorts people out. The Delta variant. It's as transmissible. They've actually sort of got data now that said it is as transmissible as what do you call it, measles. and measles is a highly contagious viral vector. Philip Morris just announced that they will be getting rid of manufacturing cigarettes. Yes, I did read that one, Dowler. Yes. And good morning, Dowler. Good afternoon, Bella. Yes. One of the Cheech and Chong has died. Okay. One of them has passed away. I have to go and look that one up. I'm not quite familiar with all the ins and outs of who dies in Hollywood these days. What have we also got on there on our news front? What are any other numbers? Yeah, we've seen tiger numbers increase this year. Thailand has warned that Thai food exporters sending shipments to China to employ strict measures to ensure their products are not contaminated. Sending shipment. Yeah, really? Okay. Dollar votes spread the vote is 1,000 times more present in a person's respiratory than its predecessors. Yeah, it's just a virus. Healthy people don't need to worry. Banning of, yeah, this is the latest thing, the announcement banning distribution of fake news or information causing public fear. Anybody here feel fear from what I'm talking about? You know, let me know now. If I'm making you feel fear, you better switch off now, because anyway, this is my channel. I don't make you come here. Compliance of Section 9 measure decrees according to the movements false and spreading online national bro. Yeah, well, I don't think anything I've sort of said is false information, and the caveat is look it up yourself. It does exist out there. The ISPs must report details of finding those above the year or whatever. Drive virus into homes by returning people from it, measured from when you're in car every time you return home with a detergent, clean your hands and doors properly. You shall have to clarify the detailed compensation passage being offered, tight lockdown measures, yeah, or whatever, but you know, they talk about it, but nobody's getting the money, which is a bit of a strange thing. What did we get today? That was 22 hours ago, that was yesterday's numbers. Nakhon Pantom, 378. There was a high number the day before, but I think that was sort of they went into a construction site or one of these large factories and tested 1,000 people and found 80% of the factory had. Again, people sort of say this, like these numbers are skewed because it's a matter of testing. No, the number you look at is how many people are dying. End of story. Testing positive for it's not going to mean diddly squat. You could test 100 people, you could test 1,000 people. The numbers are going to vary from the testing. The numbers you look at about the people who are dying from the virus, right? That's the numbers that you can't really skew. Or, the amount of testing doesn't sort of simplify the process. Basically, if you feel sick, if you feel under the weather, just stay at home. Don't, it could be anything. But again, people need to make money. And as we're sort of saying this week in the Discord more openly, was the fact that don't see banks, putting stops on, their, people paying their home loans or their business loans. We don't sort of see the real estate industry sort of, offering, tenant rentals for, 20% of their normal fee. We don't see any of that. The people in those areas, the people, that control the money flow, and the people who own the properties, the 1%, there's been nothing stopped there. Of course, people are closing their shops and not paying their rent. Well, you're the dumb shits out there for not offering to keep those people, with their, in the tenancy by offering them only a 20% rental while they can't work. That if you were smart, you would offer them something, offer them a break. right? They can't afford the full rent. Like, I'm just using Chanya as an example. Like, we can afford the full rent, but in a normal type person, she can't make a living, but she still has to pay the $4,500 rent. She still has to pay her water bill. She still has to pay her electricity bill. Well, she's not using electricity, so the electricity bill, those water bill and electricity, she's not even got the shop open, so that shouldn't be a problem. But she still has to pay the rent, right? Now, why not, a normal type? Why didn't you just say to them, I said, look, okay, we'll only charge you $500 rent this month, right? Because you can't work. I don't see any of that. Well, there's a few people actually have seen, but the majority of Thais, no, sorry, pay the full rent. Sorry, can't pay the full rent. Well, get out. Then it'll take them 12 months to fill that position in that shop again. So they cut up their nose or spite their face. Just stuff them. Good on them. Yeah, people just aren't smart with this shit. They look at the daily input, daily outputs of stuff, and they don't really look at life properly. Such is life. I have no sympathy for them at all. Ran into trouble screening. Yeah. What else have we got going on? Thailand's Commerce Ministry reporting that Thailand's borders and transit for the same period, trade for average. Symptoms colour code. So you've got to colour code it for people because they can't think for themselves. Oh my God. Green sore throat, loss of taste or smell, cough, runny nose, rashes, diarrhea, body temperature over 37.5, or tightness of chest, or okay. People are just not smart anymore. We quite often talk about it, like, a car service manuals 30 years ago, would teach you how to adjust the tappets on your valves, on your motor. These days, the main things that they try to teach you is not to drink the brake fluid. The world is just so dumb these days. It's beyond a joke. It really is.
Where's that pizza box? Where's that meme with that?
Where's the pizza? Did we put
it to me? I've got to put it up. I've got to try and find it. Must lift lid before eating pizza, and it's written on the pizza box site.
That moment when you realise it spells horse, I do like that one.
Yeah.
There's that one there.
Hi, honey. I'm so sorry.
Oh, darling, what you want?
Now I bring my mom to take some working for.
You got to get some more material. You want to say hello to people?
Yes.
Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you today? I'm good day. Now in Thailand, thinking a lot for COVID. Safety too much.
Hey, and enough.
Safety for COVID too much in Thailand.
Yeah. Somebody asked me where you get the gun. Where you get the gun?
Some page in Thailand.
You can send me link and I can give them.
I don't know now him have or not.
Okay. So pro tip to drain the oil, squeeze the car real good.
But when people need that, I just check some page. Have a lot page to Thailand.
I do like this one.
No, down.
So I want to do this one. What do you want to? What?
ลูกสาวอยู่คาม
Yeah, my. Be
ลูก
my.
สาวคาม she sleep in
Be my. Hey.
say hello
She sees the cat over
Hello.
here in the mirror. Hello. Hey. Go down. Wait.
okay come here
Calm.
my ลูกสาว she sleep
Your looks are.
Oggie's going to be upset. Seepa came in for a visit, and Oggie's not here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Buyer. Okay. Then my wife's cousin will come and pick up the fridge with his motorcycle tomorrow at 6 p.m. Seller. What? You can't pick up a fridge with a motorcycle? Buyer. My wife's cousin is from Thailand. I do like that one. There it is. Yeah, this is what the world has become. When we're not going to make it, are we? Open the box before eating pizza.
That is a real pizza box, ladies and gentlemen. That is a real good foreigners pizza box.
It's just what is happening to the world we live in. It is beyond a joke. The sort of shit that we're dealing with now. We need to wait. Not
blame the lawyers.
Oh, well, yeah, that's that one here. It's not so much the, like we talk about the woke people. Oh my, no. I want to wake the people up, not woke the people up. There's a big difference, you know. Anyway,
I'm about ready to smack him with a baseball bat.
that's a good one. That's a good one, yes.
Waste of cherry wood, Bubba. It's a waste of cherry wood.
Oh no, I got one of them resin ones from Cold Steel.
Johnny Siam, he's making a really good point. If the schools stay closed for long enough, kids might actually learn some real shit. Yeah, tell me about it. It's beyond a joke, isn't it? There are a variety of symptoms, and not everyone will get those. Yeah, I know. William, morning, Warren, Johnny, blah blah blah. G'day, William. Good to have you along. I suppose we're getting close to 20 minutes to the hour. Don't forget, we've got our channel join button down below if you want to support the program and get a little early release of the videos. And we also have a few other things there. We get you get notifications. That was what I wanted to talk about, was notifications. So
Might never work.
DIA. Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you go to my website now, like I do every so often talk about the Patreon and our thing. Now, the one thing about the Patreon and one thing about the YouTube join, the Patreon members and the join button on YouTube, right? One thing that does work is they do tell you when new videos are out, and I've sort of said this before. Is if you're in the YouTube membership, you're part of the community, right? You'll get early notice of when we release stuff. When we do the little shorts, when we do this thing here, you get it before everybody else. The normal people coming to our channel don't see that, right? That's just for members only. Patreon members also get it. So if you go to the Patreon page, you'll get also notification. The best thing about it, you get the notifications. You get sent some sort of notification that something's come out, because YouTube don't give a damn about anything else, right? If you're just subscribed, even if you press this little bell icon that they talk about, it really doesn't guarantee that you're going to get notification, unless of course you're actively participating and actively going to that channel on a regular basis. And if you're like most people, you've probably got subscription to 150 to 200 channels. YouTube is only going to sort of probably filter 10% of that, right? And it's only the 10% that's sort of relevant. The AI picks what it wants to show you, not every video that's released. Now, if you don't want to join, or you don't want to join the Patreon, I also have on my website, if you go to the About section on my website, and wait for that to come up, right, you can join my email list. Now, that's my email list, doesn't go anywhere else. Right, that dickhead's back again. Put him another 10-minute timeout. 300 seconds, yeah. So if you put your your name in there and your email address and subscribe, well, it tells me that I'm already subscribed to my own email list, right? But yeah, email already exists. But you can subscribe to my email list, which is not part of YouTube. It's not part of Patreon. But you still get notifications. There's also this little bell down here which gives you a push to your phone. If you click on that bell, when I publish an article, right, like everybody else, you'll get that and you'll get notifications on your phone, right? And guess what? They will come through. That's the thing. They will come through. It's really, if that's what you want. How many of these people have got that? How many people that honestly? You must have multiple. You must have multiple channels with the same name. But this is what's going on. Don't worry about it. Webcam.
I'm not gonna lie. I probably haven't been to your website in probably about 2.5, 3 years.
It doesn't matter. You're probably still on their subscription list, so yeah. Probably still send you an email, but you still get it otherwise, But people sort of think that getting back onto the e-beggar stuff. $2 a month, it's nothing, But it does assure you that you get notifications. But if $2 is a problem, it's not about the money; it's about getting the notifications. So you can go somewhere and you can still get notifications outside those systems. That's one of the things I do that not many other people do. If you want to be part of the community, you know. They said, you know, you've got the Discord channel here. You're always welcome to come and join us in the Discord and have a chat anytime. You know, we might have this public thing every Saturday, but we chat like this all the time when people come in, you know. This is our hangout. But yeah, so don't forget, if you want to go to that, you can go to the About page. Well, you'll also find it on the main page as well, but depending if you're using a mobile phone, it's on the sidebar down after there. I think it's down here, subscribe here. A little bit more hidden than anything else. But yeah, so I do make it available for everybody so that they can be part of the community at their own choosing, at their level of participation, and we just love you. We love our family. That's what I'm getting at. If you know what I mean. We want to make it work for everybody. But yeah. So anyway, moving right along. What else we got? I think we did that. I was looking at what did Richard Barrow have to talk about today. He got the new high. We got that one there. I think he was doing an example of the last few days picture. Yeah, so the numbers have been gradually getting back, but it's going to hit 30,000 within the next 2 weeks. What was the other stories? Proud vows to not resign. Yeah, half of the US fire. That's right. The Pfizer has arrived in Thailand. Half the Pfizer does go to frontline. Almost half of the 1.5 million doses. Media urged government to revise order. 6 local media organisations yesterday threatened to set up a legal and social pressure on the government if it refuses to lift what they allege are restrictions on media freedoms. Again, a bit of a non-starter. That's not going to fly. Phuket says new curbs can prevent outbreak. Right, the new curbs basically they're locking down Phuket further. Listen to Sonny. He says, you know, like it's ridiculous. You know, they're just trying to get food to the people. You know, and just the restrictions you've got to deal with down there. I think no more than crowds of 100 people or something down. You know, whatever. I'm losing track of what's going on. Haven't seen anything when we're going to see these restrictions in Bangkok lifted. So I'm guessing that the 2 week that they imposed. When did it 2? I think the 2 weeks was 2 weeks ago. I think we're still locked down from there. So I guess they've extended it. I just haven't seen any notification of the extensions. Not much else going on. Are you in Phuket Sandbox and want to get the backup? Nokia advising new flights to Utapa around Pattaya with transfers to Bangkok as one of Vatapum. That's just getting a car into Bangkok. So you're going to leave Phuket, come into Bangkok. Good idea. Why not? You know where to go to find this stuff. I don't know to talk about it. What else have we got? I suppose 15 minutes to go. Where's my? Got to look at our girls. Okay, Warren. That's it. Warren. If you want some restrictions, we have plenty. You can have. Yeah, I know. Tell me about. 18% vaccinated now. Only 50% until herd immunity. What? 52. What? 52% more than the 18%. Yeah, okay, I guess that's what he means. That. I heard the CCSA Warren have extended the restrictions to August 14th. Is that what it was? Was it? I must have missed it. I've been sort of just avoiding it. I've been playing games and doing other shit, you know, because, you know, like there's no virus on the internet. Well, there is viruses on the internet, but it's not the same sort of viruses, and I'm pretty well inoculated about all the phishing and scamming attacks that you probably might get a virus from. My psyche is very well conditioned for those sort of scams. I heard this, you know, Dallo only 5 years. Dallo in 5 years, 80% will be growing horns. What have we got for our pretty girls? Let's do our final wrap up. She's got a nice smile. She's got She's got a silicon ass. I'm sure
Yeah,
she's
she
had
does.
she's had a bit of silicon done. What do you think? Then again, it could be just
Yeah.
cellulite. Could be just cellulite. You never know. Yeah, she's got a nice smile.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
There's more balloons in that photo.
There's some more balloons in that photo. You noticed the balloons too, did you? Good, yeah, yeah. This guy here is having got a bit of a smile on his face with, you know, her tits in his face. Does that look like Andy Oswald? I don't know. That'll get back. Yeah. Cute buns on that one. No breast. Typical Thai.
Yeah.
Queen Club. Mm-hmm. She could bring my drinks. Mm-hmm. The Palace, Walking Street. I think she dropped something on the floor there.
Looking for the car keys, I think.
Looking for the car keys, yes. Probably checking the side of the lounge for any sort of any few baht down the gap. Lovely ying. What do we got there? Mm-hmm. Nice. There's something about these girls and their pretty smiles. Makes you happy. Unfortunately, they've all got masks on these days, which is a bit of a shame. Some nice ink on that one.
Yeah, I know. I'm going on a second date with someone tomorrow. I think I've seen her face for maybe 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. You didn't have to chew your arm off in the morning? Okay, to escape?
Oh, I got a good pocket knife. I'm not going to chew my own arm off. I'll cut it off.
Yeah, they're having fun. Look very friendly. Nice fishnets.
Yeah.
She doesn't look happy. Number 25. Yummy. Watch it, Chanya doesn't see this. I know, yeah, I know. Well, she was running mother. She was running mother to pick up some more material to make some clothes. So, I'm safe.
I think that's why Wazza puts it at the end, Chris.
Andy Stubbs, Philippines press said he'll get the police to take people back to their house if not vaccinated, and they can die as far as he's concerned. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Duterte, he's a bit of a loose cannon. He's got a few screws loose.
He's a nut job.
Yeah, that was nice. I like that one. That outfit looks pretty nice. Anyway, there's our girls for the day. Didn't really get their names. What customers? I mean, yeah, obviously you can go and look at the articles. Yeah, that's up to you guys, not me. What else we got? Nothing else? Wait 46, okay, so what's he doing? Craft response, I've been waiting for that video to come out. Yeah, anyway, don't forget, hit the subscription list to make sure you get notifications. What else have we got? We've got 7 minutes to go. What else are we going to talk about for the last 7 minutes, or we're going to wrap it up? Crypto pricing? I don't know. What do we got for crypto pricing?
Yeah, how did it go? You had that conversation with that crypto guy.
Oh, we had a good discussion. Oh, I was more querying about what's available now. One of the things that'll probably be coming on my channel later this week or the next week, as soon as I find more information, I will put public keys up there. If people don't want to put money through the normal system, I will actually set up a couple of wallets, one on Bitcoin, one on Ethereum, and maybe one on maybe Dogecoin, just for the sake of the meme.
I just sold off all of mine.
But I'll put I'll put some public keys up there if anybody wants to send $5 or $2 in cryptocurrency, because this is something that David said to me. He said, look, why don't you have a wallet where we can do a equivalent $2 pledge or whatever, going, well, basically I haven't set one up because I've been steering clear of that shit. But after the discussions I've had with David and the discussions I've had with this guy from what's his name, Ruinscape, I think that was what he goes by here.
Yeah.
I think I just got to get my finger out and get those wallets set up. Put a few dollars in them to start them up, and just so they're there for people to, and I'll have links down in that details there. I noticed a few of like if I go to WAC 486, it was that thing I was just looking at then. If I look at WAC 486, this is one of the guys here. You'll notice on his channel, although it's there, show more. Is it him? Was it him, Adam? Maybe it wasn't WAC. Maybe it was who else was it? It was one of the other subscriptions. Firespark. I think maybe Firespark has it. Discord, Patreon. Okay. Maybe it was Laoway. Was it Laoway? Was it?
I listened in on you guys for about an hour, and then, well, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning where I was at, so I went to sleep.
You went to sleep. Yeah, I know. Well, we do that to people. We bore people. So Laoway, I think. There we go. So there's Laoway doing it there. So he's got crypto support. So not only does he offer sort of the supports are a normal thing, he puts his Bitcoin public key up there. He puts his Ethereum public key up there. So if you're into those sort of things, you can give give a little bit to outside the normal financial system. I think it's about time I sort of set up some public wallets, just to offer that alternative for people, because it's been mentioned. So we'll have to see how it goes.
So now you're going to be a crypto beggar.
I'll be a crypto beggar now. That's it.
And out of the darkness comes.
No, that's it. Be a crypto beggar.
I show up just in time to hear him going.
I was interested. What's this Odyssey? What is Odyssey? I'm trying to see. It looks like he's putting his videos up on Odyssey. It's another one of these alternate publications to YouTube. That's just his channel. Looks like it's another one of these. It's probably blockchain hosting service. Not sure how that works for longevity of videos. Another one I've got to look into and see if there's anything worth getting involved in. There's a few of them out there.
You're probably not ready on the message channel Wazza, but there's requests for Wazza and Chanya merchandise coming up towards Christmas.
Yeah. Like if I did
no. Stubby holders, coffee mugs, mouse pads. Dallo wants the whole shebang, I think.
Does he?
Well, that's a good one. That'll be a good mouse pad. Just a little prick.
Did I turn it off today?
No, we shouldn't talk about Warren that way.
I am sure. I'm sorry. I've got some code.
A picture on a mouse pad would look good.
Yeah. I did look at what the merchandising sort of. I did put one up to test around with, but I honestly, I'm going, this is. You get the idea. You retired for 5 years. You get out of doing all that shit. And the last thing I want to do is really play computer games again. Computer, whatever.
What do you say?
I like doing code.
You don't want to play computer games again?
No, computer website games again. This thing here, even this website here that I've got, that's been telling me for the last 6 months there's some more code to update. So I've got an update to my current theme and all that other stuff, and I'm going really, yeah, it tells me there, sort of, my Safari, I got an theme update if I wanted to put the update on. I can't be bothered, but there's nothing broken.
Oh, Wazza and Chanya gardening t-shirts. That'll be a good one. Oh, Wazza and Chanya gardening dresses, Dallo. That'll be a good
gardening
one.
dresses. Okay, right. Well,
yes.
Mowing dresses.
I'll have to look into it. There was something that I did. I was going to get the first T-shirt. I was going to, if I can find it now. Let me quickly do it before we close down. Go to pictures. Go to there. I was going to be releasing a T-shirt with this on it. This is my own design. ZooTube. I don't know if people remember that one. Yeah, but it only goes on a white T-shirt. And I don't think guys really want to wear white T-shirts. I got to redo the artwork to do it on multicolour T-shirts, and I probably put a border around the ZooTube and this thing here, and I get that off and put it on T-shirts and sell them. But yeah, so that was my first bit of artwork, and I did that like 18 months ago, and that's as far as I got, was get the artwork done. And they're back again. Yeah, whatever.
They're back again. Go away.
Yeah, idiots. That's what they do. I don't know. I don't know what they expect to get. What do they expect out of that shit? I don't know. What are they actually sending? They're just advertising who they are. Big exclamation mark. What the no idea. It's useless information. But yeah, so yeah, that's as far as I got with the merchandising. But I have to really look into it. It means me actually doing some sort of, getting out of my comfort zone of playing games to play different sorts of games, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Warren's line is going crazy. I'm just trying to see what did he send me. So Bangkok chat group. Bill's sending me photos of what's he got there. That food. That was last night. Yeah, well, I don't want to share. That's private information. I want to share it publicly. It's all good, Bill. We'll look at them a bit later. What's Zach talking about? No problem. Bangkok's. Oh yeah, I did read about the. This is the last one I'll leave you with. Of course, is this one here. This is sad news for people coming to Thailand. It's. I've seen it now 3 or 4 different places. Published today, yesterday. Bangkok's train night market at Ratchada to permanently close. Basically, I think that they've probably had an offer for the land there to build some sort of condo unit, and they've just said, "Stuff this. We're not making any money for that area." So somebody's obviously offers them some money to buy the land, so they're going to close the market down, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, another Bangkok icon going for good, and I will leave that up there on there. So while we close out, that'll probably be my snapshot. A bit of a sad day, sad news. And where are my buttons? What have we got? Okay, so it's that 2 hour mark. Did I miss anything else? Probably did. I probably missed a whole bunch of shit. Anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. Peace out. Stay friends. Take care of your family. Wear your mask. Stop complaining, you bunch of freaking sissies. Right? It's only a mask. Stop worrying about breathing oxygen. Right? Think about the other people.
But I like breathing.
Think about the other people who are really concerned about their health and don't realise the fact that it's eating all those McDonald's is F the other people, yeah. F the other people. Anyway, guys, peace out. We're out of here. Find the button. Get out of here. Yeah, and we'll catch you next week.
The end.
I want you to